Hello, everyone. I would like to share with you guys today about monuments. Um, Last spring, at in a class in TKU, um, I had a collaborate session professor that used that or whatever, and um, in the previous class that I'd used it in, all you had to do was log in, and there was like lectures going on, and you could comment. You didn't have to use your video. So me running in from the ball field, sweaty and gross, and hurrying just to get on the collaborate period. I do everything, put my little earphone in, and the professor goes, "Hi, Amber. Hi. Turn your video on so we can chat." And there's only like three other people that have decided to show up on this collaborate, so I have no choice but to do that. And oh my goodness, it was so embarrassing. I was like, "Hi." I didn't even know what I was getting into. All it was a meet and greet, which was awesome because otherwise. So, anyway, um, well, when we were introducing ourselves, we were talking about our background or like what we grew up in church wise. And one of the guys said something about he had a very similar background story to me, grew up Baptist and all that stuff. But he said something about he wasn't sure how much he believed in the gifts of the supernatural gifts. And I had to interject there because my grandmother was supernaturally healed from cancer back in the 80s before they even had, you know, as much technology and good stuff for treatment as they do now. She was diagnosed with stage 4 renal cell cancer. They told her that she had 6 months to 2 years to live. She was in so much pain that she couldn't even stand to be touched. Her ribs, it was in her bones. That's how bad it was. Um, she couldn't stand for her ribs to be touched. And she was Baptist that does not believe in healing and all that good stuff. But when you are on death's door, your opinions tend to shift a little. So my aunt had been going to some healing services, some mighty revivals down in St. Simons, Georgia, and my grandmother went down there, and they knew about her, and they wanted to pray for her, and so that's what they did. She went down front, and she said the moment they prayed, she knew like the hand of God had touched her. She said it felt like electricity shooting through her body, and the pain went away immediately. And during this whole time when she was battling all this cancer and struggling with what to do. I mean, she wasn't very old. I think I was like 3 years old at the time. She said that she clung to the verse Job 13:15 that says, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." And that was her thing. Like, God, no matter what's happening, I'm trusting in you, even to death. I'm going to trust you. Um, and the Lord healed her. The Lord miraculously healed her. And my aunt told her, she said, the enemy's going to lie to you. He's going to say you're not healed. My grandmother had an appointment at Emory a month after all of this had happened. After she had been mightily healed by the Lord, she kept the appointment. She still went. Um, she was going to start a new immunotherapy treatment called interleukin that was supposedly going to help her prolong her life. Hopefully, make it to that 2 years mark. And this was before she had made this appointment prior to going to the healing service. But at that appointment, when they checked her x-rays and everything, there was no cancer. All of it was gone. Every bit of it. Nothing in her bones, nothing in her kidneys, nothing. So God supernaturally healed her. And that is a major monument moment, because a monument is a moment to commemorate something. And so when I said that, the professor in the class said that is a monument moment, just like when Joshua and the Israelites crossed the Jordan. So I needed to know more about that story. I'd always heard it, but I really wanted to look into it. So in the third book of Joshua, the Israelites needed to cross the Jordan so they could get into the Promised Land. And it was springtime, and the river levels were high, and getting thousands of men, women, and children across the river would have been a nearly impossible task. So that's not the case with God. And he waited till it was, the worst possible time to show his mighty power. God told Joshua to have the priests carry the Ark of the Covenant where his presence rested into the river. The moment the priest's feet touched the water, the river parted. The priest stood in the middle of the parted river while the Israelites crossed the river on dry land, and God told Joshua to have a man from each of these 12 tribes of Israel take a stone from the place where the priests were standing in the middle of the river on dry land and place them where they would be staying that night. And Joshua 4:20-24 kind of sums up this whole what went down. And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your descendants ask their parents, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the Jordan before you until you had crossed over. The Lord your God did to the Jordan what he had done to the Red Sea when he dried it up before us until we had crossed over. He did this so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God.'" And God wants to give us those monument moments in our own lives that showcase his power, that remind us that no matter what, he is faithful and he is in control. And these monument moments, they serve two purposes. The first purpose they serve is they show us the supernatural, awe-inspiring power of God. They showcase that. They say, hey, the God we serve is mighty and miraculous, and there's no doubt about that. The second purpose that they serve is in the times of trying, in the times where we are persevering and we are like, where are you, God? That is the moment that you recall those monument moments and you think, I know my God is capable. I know my God is powerful. I know he is more than capable of doing beyond what I could even ask or think. And he's got me. He will work this out for my good. That's what those monument moments are for. For me personally,